on, you guys? As you can see, Dirt is not here today. Dirt has things he had to take care of, and Blue Cloud shows up right when I go live. And
Such no video.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about, but gotta fix that real quick, guys. But technically, he ain't late because I'm going a little early. And technically, I'm doing this off the clock, so it is what it is.
A bit on time.
What's
All
up?
right, can you hear us, Big Cloud?
Loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I can hear you guys, man. Everything going good with you guys?
No. It's been like the week from hell. And I keep getting weeks from hell like every other week. It's freaking nuts.
Yeah, I just got through reviewing Valkyrie Elysium, I think it was called. Valkyrie Elysium. Did you, was that game on your platform any, Big Cloud?
Valkyrie Elysium?
Yeah.
Been wanting to get to it. I've been on this
it's not out
crazy platinum streak, so no, not yet.
Platinum?
That was not out yet?
Like the Platinum Company?
No, I've been on a platinum streak.
Oh.
Yeah, how many games I platinum this month?
I used to be that kind of person when it comes to that. I'm not really like that anymore, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess 5.
5.
More than 5?
More than 30.
More
this
than
month.
30.
What the hell are you playing?
Been playing a lot of indie stuff.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, he's playing the Kid Smooth.
Been playing a lot of
indies.
Been playing a lot of AAA's, Death Stranding, stuff like that. Literally went crazy and just platinum like 40 games this month alone.
He's playing the Kid Smooth stuff.
I know what he's doing. I know what he's doing. That's what we used to do when we was trying to compete for Gamer Score.
No, it's worse now. It's worse now. Kid Smooth literally has a publisher that he knows the publisher's name, and he'll search it like every other week, and they release a couple games weekly that it takes you 5 minutes to get all 1,000 gamer score.
That's ridiculous.
There's a lot of stuff like that too. And I just been really cleansing. You know, I've been getting off of social media. I've just been keeping distance, having fun for a change.
I respect the cleansing thing. King, what's going on with you? What you playing, man? What is going on with King David?
I haven't been playing anything. I've been trying to get to a whole bunch of stuff. Like right now, right after this, right? I had no plans on doing the show today, but me and Addict was talking in the background, and boom, here I am. I got to wash my dog. I got to mow the lawn. I got to put together some stuff. So I got a whole bunch of stuff to do today that has nothing to do with video games, but I bet you I can get in 2-3 games of Fortnite tonight.
Yeah. I need to play a little bit more Fortnite. I haven't really played it at all. I played more Fall Guys than anything this season. But the Fortnite, the season just started, so you know.
Oh, and I'm watching Andor. That's on the Disney Plus channel. You know, huge Star Wars nut. So that I am, and this is probably one of the best produced shows.
Any thoughts on it so far? Got this one fly that won't leave me alone.
Well, it's better than the mosquito that sucked the side of my head. Pause. He's disrespectful. I got the last samurai mosquito in my house. He don't want to die.
That's scary.
It's my thoughts on it is it's one of their best produced shows as far as you see huge production value, right? And everybody always says, well, Disney doesn't put a lot of production value. I beg to differ. I think their Star Wars stuff gets a bulk load of their money.
I felt like Obi-Wan was very highly production wise.
When you see this, you're going to say, oh my God, they take it up another notch. And we already know that the acting is top notch. So it's a really good, it's slow build. The first 3 episodes they dropped on day 1 to let you binge those. And then they're releasing 1 episode per week. So I watched the 4th episode today. And the 4th episode really kicks off the main character's journey to where we got to see him in Rogue One. So if anybody watched Rogue One, is the story about that character. It's his backstory that we're doing now, and it's Hey, boy, it's something to watch right now.
I respect that. Pretty much what I've been, like I said, Valkyrie Elysium. I'll probably drop the review after this podcast. What's funny is I hope I don't break NDA. I hope to God I don't. But there's a couple people I've talked to. The game's already out because of the if you bought the deluxe edition, you got early access.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to another couple reviewers. Apparently, you can post stuff. I see people posting on Twitter. So I'm gonna just do it. Like the game comes out in the morning, I'm assuming, if not, I'll just private it or unlist it for a couple hours. But yeah, I will be releasing that. I know a lot of people was looking forward to that game. It is a Square Enix game. It's not on PlayStation. It's not on Xbox. Go figure. But we'll go ahead and get into the show, man. First thing I want to talk a little bit light. A little bit light. Plus, we got King here, so I felt like I had to talk about this. Apparently, someone over there, EA, is making an Iron Man game. King, what I want from you is your expectations on how you feel like an Iron Man these days should be made.
Well, I saw the mock up or demo of it in Unreal Engine 5. It looks like the VR game just in Unreal Engine 5. I don't know what expectations I can have for the game, to be honest with you. I think they're going to follow the Disney template. And the Disney template of Iron Man isn't Iron Man to be per se. It was like Iron Man light for the masses that can consume it in a manner that works well for them. Iron Man is a real hardcore character in the Marvel universe, right? So for them to portray Iron Man actually in the comic books, they would have to go into a whole bunch of his dark past, his drinking, his war on the war that he actually started, that his father was a warmonger, his company was a warmonger, so they were selling arms and stuff across the world. I know they did a little bit of that, but they tried to clean his hands very early on, and that's not how the books were. He was still a warmonger for a very long period of time.
Oh, so
his
pretty
company
much
made this money. Yeah.
in the movies they kind of portrayed it the moment he found out his dad did it.
Yeah, like,
But then he
my
just
God.
stopped it. But it
Yeah.
seems like in the comics and stuff, he kept doing it. And
Yeah.
then probably something happened that opened his eyes afterwards.
The Iron Wars. They're gonna deal into that in Disney Plus, but they're gonna deal with that with Rhodey. His tech gets out, and once he sees his tech starting to kill people and do things, that forces him on a different journey. That's like when he goes into Demon in a Bottle. That whole storyline of him being a real drunkard. They touched on it in Iron Man 3. And and they made it all whimsical, but I understand movies got to be very short for that. The game, I think, is going to be lighthearted. I think it's going to have some undertones of him taking on some bad guys across the world. But I say this to say, in the books right now, the Iron Man armor is so advanced. So he has it and they have it in the movies. They show the nanites and it comes out of his body and stuff like that. Iron Man is just an AI at this point himself, Tony Stark himself, because Tony Stark is actually dead in the books, but he can't die because his AI lives on. So just like how
like
Cortana,
Jarvis, basically.
you understand, like the AI that he had in his helmet that was talking to him, that it seemed like it was alive. Well, he is a sentient AI, so it's really different.
Oh, I didn't know that. So at the end of like Tony's thing, he made himself into AI.
It's inevitable.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so you
It's like he did for his butler.
Yeah,
his dad. His dad's butler is Jarvis.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Jarvis in the books isn't that, but Jarvis in the movie is that.
Yeah.
So Jarvis in the books was the real butler of the Avengers. So, they weaved stuff and they made stuff work.
Yeah, it's funny in game. A lot of people don't catch on that the guy in the car next to his dad is Jarvis, because he says, "Let's go, Jarvis." They don't even catch on. So,
quick question. First off, let's get what's your expectations with this Big Cloud when it comes to this Iron Man? I know a lot of I've seen in the chat. People don't. What's what I'm looking for? They don't have faith in EA to make a superhero game. So, what's your opinion, Big Cloud?
I mean, I'm gonna give it a chance, see what's up, especially since we got the Star Wars Jedi Survivor coming out, and they did good with Fallen Order. But as far as Iron Man is concerned, think about Iron Man. I always envisioned this character under another, you know what I mean, publisher in general, because I figured they would tell more of the storytelling aspect of, like King was alluding to earlier. Like there's a lot more depth to Iron Man, especially towards villains that
Yeah.
you might see in movies that was rushed, like the whole Ironmonger thing, for example. A lot of people
Yeah.
don't know how deep it is with the
Yeah.
Ironmonger and why he really just won them dead. Like a lot of people don't know. So I don't expect EA to go that crazy. What I expect is probably international threats for Iron Man. He's probably just going to be like the center, you know, kind of like was Iron Man 2 with Whiplash, not like his tech. This random guy had an arc reactor, and then all of a sudden, you know, pandemonium starts. The White House thought, hey, I think he's selling under the table. We need to go and take his tech. So maybe that's going to be the story or the basis of what they're going to do there. But I'm not expecting no crazy like jaw dropping like cinematic experience like we got with Spider-Man 2018. There's a reason why I hold Spider-Man 2018 so high is because it literally gave you everything that you will want in the movies, right? In game form. Like when you played that game, you weren't expecting to be fighting, spoiler alert, and Doc Ock on the side of the building. You know, you wasn't
That
expecting
wasn't
blood
a lot of time to. You know, that's like equivalent to be like, spoiler alert, I'm gonna ruin the last episode that happened
I
on
mean, the game.
Track.
I mean, the game been out. The game been out for so long.
I feel you. I
But
feel like you get like you get a year before I start spoiling stuff. If you ain't played something in a year, you weren't playing it.
that's true.
I think Bit is on to the whole plot line of Spider-Man being in a mature plot line.
Yep.
I didn't think that I was going to get in the DLCs Spider-Man's a deadbeat dad type of thing.
Yep.
And that thing and the fact that he was going back and forth with Mary Jane, they had to explain to Mary Jane that he had, went with his ex while they was on a break. Those mature type of conversations that were being had and how they were dealing with certain aspects, that's why I hold 2018 in such regard. Like
Different level of respect for it. Yeah.
and the fact that they got the essence of the character down pat. So do I expect EA to pay attention to all the nuances of Iron Man? I don't believe so, and
Yeah.
because we don't have faith in them to deliver in that manner, and that's a problem when you see an IP go to a company and you just shake your head and roll your eyes and hope for the best.
Yeah, like I remember, I was surprised Microsoft didn't just get this particular character. It worked with it because this would have made sense for Microsoft, different custom consoles or whatever. But they didn't do this. Hell, even Spawn and whatnot. But again, that's sorry, moving away from that. But no, like you're absolutely right on that. It's like Iron Man is one of those characters that can definitely make your console stand out. Absolutely. If you do it right with the right story, you got the right villains, you got the right gameplay. From what I saw in the demo, it does look cool. Like a lot of the new stuff. But again, I don't know. Maybe this will get people talking about Superman down the road. Who knows if it does well. Am I expecting Jedi Fallen Order type of levels of quality here? We'll see. When we get
apparently it's being made by the people who made Star Wars Rogue Squadron, and it's being made
that was pretty decent.
Okay. And it's being made by the people who are doing the Dead Space remake. I think. I don't know. I think. So if it is that company, here's the thing. I have a little bit more faith if they reach out to BioWare and be like, yo, how'd you do those flying mechanics? Yeah. Because I feel like when you play with some of those machines on Anthem, that is Iron Man. That's how he flies. So yeah, so it's just like I feel like if they talk to them like, yo, can you help us with this? I mean, I don't even care. Let BioWare just do the flying mechanic part of it, like because it's just like and especially if they don't have to worry, because I think that's a huge thing to have to try to invent a way to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like to be able to fly, I think that's a big thing, and I think the biggest thing it is like if they can get that taken care of quick, they can focus on the stuff that matters, because flying matters. It's a very important thing to Iron Man, but it's something that we expect. I think the biggest thing is, can they hit the story? Can they hit the gameplay with the story? Can they hit all of those in a trifactor? And I think if they can get that flying out quick out the door, where they understand it, they know exactly how they want to use it, then they can focus on other stuff that matters, such as story.
Yeah, like you remember Anthem, the game. I remember Anthem, right? When you go to the little hub and you jump into your suit, like you see it kind of like docked on the machine. It would be cool again, like if you can go to like his mansion, or whatever, right? You go to like his little headquarters, you can take the suit off and explore like the, you know what I mean, like his house, and then you can do this stuff seamlessly, put the suits on, try them out. But I don't expect that type of level of immersion from EA as a lead. I'm not expecting it. They might do cutscene.
If they try to monetize it in the sense that you have to have all these different suits, I see the aspect of EA looking at it, and Tony has probably at least 100 Iron Man suits.
Like 100 for each situation.
Yeah. So, and I think they can work in that aspect with it. And Attic is right in the respect that Anthem flight mechanics was really done well, and what I want is enemy choices, right? The reason why Spider-Man works so well, because you had low, medium, and tough,
and super advanced,
right? For Spider-Man to fight. You can have that same aspect with Iron Man, but really in the books, Iron Man isn't a street level character stopping street level crime.
Exactly.
Right. So either you had corporate espionage.
He's not even like a vigilante. Like
he isn't.
He's more of an icon. He goes like where it matters for the most part. Like in the movie, I saw him like go over to to Iraq to just make a statement. He wasn't.
But that wasn't in the books.
That was that's not in the books. Yeah.
See, I don't know.
see, his biggest thing, like I said, was corporate espionage. And he's really the most selfish hero, period, to be honest with you, because it's where his self-interest lies. So if his self-interest lies in this thing, he got a renaissance from the movies in the books that was reinventing Iron Man into what he was supposed to be, right? So I respect it.
Just out of curiosity, coming from a person that enjoys the comic books like you do you prefer the Iron Man to stay intact on how the comic books portrayed him, or do you prefer the movie scenario where they kind of altered his character a little bit, or do you prefer like a mixture, maybe come to the light side sooner? Like how would you want Iron Man to be portrayed in this game?
It's hard, because the selfish kid inside of me wants my Iron Man, right? The one that I have over here. If I can get my camera to see him, you can see him right there.
Yeah. You want that comic
that Iron Man?
Yeah.
That's my master line Iron Man from XM Studios. And the reason why I got that is because of the comic book accurate armor that Tony Stark had limitations, and it was built around the suit. So he just had just enough power to do just enough of whatever it is that he had to do. And he had to calculate how he was going to attack a situation based on what his armor was allowing him to do. Yep. So in the books now, or the movies, his armor seems unlimited to some extent, right? The power he
keeps adding on to it.
Yeah. Right. So I do want it fan friendly. I do like that aspect that includes everyone into the whole conversation, opposed to just limited it to a section of comic book readers that can only identify with certain things. So I do want them to broaden it. But I do want them to stay true to the character. So I do want him to be a selfish narcissist individual who goes after self-interest and the preservation of his name and the glorification of himself, right? And he becomes the leader of the Avengers only at the opposition of the true leader, which is Captain America, because he sides with the government. Yep. Right? That's when you get the whole secret wars and all that stuff, the Civil War stuff. I want that Iron Man. I want the Iron Man that feels that he's always right and he knows what's best for the world to the detriment of what your choices are. So if they can attack the character from that psychological aspect and actually implement that inside the game where you know that he's a narcissist and he's always going to make sure that he is the smartest person in the room, that's the Iron Man I want.
Yeah, so
See, you have a good point there too, because this is why I'm even more worried about it too, because Civil War, because Civil War had a good premise, but we didn't get a whole lot more of that premise, that tension build up between the characters before, you know what I mean, Cap went rogue and did his thing to get Bucky, you know what I mean? It would have been cool to have that in game form where you actually play as Tony and you get more of the story. You know what I'm saying? You go through this, you see the different levels, you see the different threats you're building up towards in the sense of not following, I guess, the corporate rule, you know what I mean? And see that side. Then you see, okay, you know what? Do I want to be this type of hero or do I want to do that? So, in a weird way, yeah, I kind of do want it to have similarities to the MCU. Like, for example, there's a lot of cool suits in the MCU that are cool, you know, flight suits, the Jesus Christ, the War Machine obviously can be added to this in a sequel if this ever does takes off, but it depends, really. It depends on the situation at this point and how they do it. I'm not even sure. Did they even give us like a synapse of how they're going to tell this at all?
No.
So we just know it's Project. So we just know it's Project Iron Man.
You saw the demo of it, right?
Yeah, I saw the Unreal Engine thing where you're flying around. That looks good. Like all that looks good. It looks very similar to what you see in the movie, you know, minus the flares. That looks good. But I don't know, man. I feel like there are definitely there's a lot of questions. I'll just say that, a lot of questions.
Did you play the Iron Man VR game?
No, I didn't have PSVR at the time.
You did?
I didn't have PSVR at the time.
I thought it was pretty decent.
Did you?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty decent. From a VR aspect.
I think my perspective is you see Iron Man making an Iron Man game. Let's say that Iron Man actually does good. It's a good game. You know, they let Vince influence a lot of EA, and EA's letting people actually take creative freedom. They're not pushing any kind of their own agendas like microtransactions and stuff. And let's say Iron Man does good because of these changes. I think that puts more pressure on Microsoft to have their own, because it's just like, look, like, sure, you get the Iron Man, you get the Gotham Knight stuff, you get isn't there another game I'm thinking of? The one with Captain America and Black Panther. You get that one, but it's just like, as long as they get Sony's about to get Wolverine, they're about to get they already have Spider-Man. Supposedly there's rumored that they have another one that they ain't announced yet. Yeah, so it's just like, to me, if Iron Man is good, and even if it isn't good, I think just the existence of Iron Man says, look, these characters are available. You need to pursue one. What do you think, King?
You know, I'm never on board for that, right? Because that puts the publisher and the developer behind the 8 ball from the start, right? Everybody's clamoring, and I hear it and I hate it. They need the Punisher. The Punisher works so well with Microsoft. The Punisher works so. We never knew Spider-Man worked so well with Sony until it was actually done, right? And Insomniac did what was that game that they did with Microsoft first?
Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah, Sunset Overdrive, right? And you saw the traversal mechanic that was started in that aspect. All the other Spider-Man games that were released that was from Acclaim, from Activision, all those Spider-Man games in some form or another sucked in some way, except for probably Maximum Carnage and the one that was on the Genesis.
Ultimate Spider-Man. PS2. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that one was good.
But they were all a progression to what we ultimately got. And I believe that was locked behind the tech and the right developer. I think those things are organic and they come together at some points as an apex in the gaming space. We don't get a superhero game like in a sense of Superman because, again, the small, medium tier, and large tier characters that he has to fight. Superman has no peer, to be honest with you, as far as strength, speed, and agility and stuff like that. So you have to form something to hurt him. Those why Superman games don't reach that apex yet. I don't think the tech that we have yet is able to attack a Superman game in that form. A Hulk game suffers the same thing.
Do you think that where Iron Man and Superman both need a lot of the game being revolved around flight, you think that might be an issue too, to like make a gameplay that revolves around flying? Because I don't think people realize Insomniac was able to do Spider-Man because there's realistically that dude can only do so much. You know what I'm saying? He could he could swing around towers, like, but when you add flight to a game, like full straight blown flight, it's different. And I don't think people realize like the amount of work it probably goes into. I'll probably reach out to someone, get them on here, and see how hard it is to bring flight to a game on like that. But it's just Superman. I've always felt like one of the biggest ways that you can give him a solid game is like when he's younger and he's learning how to use his powers and he can't full blown flight. You know what I'm saying? Like he can.
As you progress, you fly at the end maybe or something.
Yeah, because I've seen enough on Superman to know that he would jump first before he can fly.
Yeah.
Yep.
And like maybe something like that. And Iron Man, you know, there's a lot of things they can do. I think they can make an Iron Man game before a Superman game. Because I think Superman, who's he going to fight? Street criminals?
See,
he's going to punch one person and they're going to throw against the wall.
It comes down to the writing, really. I mean, you could basically write it to him like, remember, like, what was it? Superman Returns. Remember, he came back after years of being away. Why not have him come back and the world be kind of into chaos, similar to that dream sequence in Batman v Superman, and have it be Bizarro? All right, imitated him, sending the world into chaos.
Let me get this $5 super chat for Mandano McThickens. It would be nice to have Insomniac level Mandingo McThickens. Mandingo. He knows I'll be butchering these names. Okay. It would be nice to have Insomniac level story for Iron Man. The only thing EA nailed are flight mechanics from Anthem, keeping my thumbs up or hopes up. I agree with you. I do think that they can make one, especially they've shown that we can do the flight thing, especially the robots of flight thing. It depends on how much influence is gonna that EA themselves is gonna put on this studio. I feel like at that point where Capcom, everyone just assumed they were gonna go under. And it's just up until everyone just assumed it was just a matter of time before they closed the shop.
It was an assumption. It was there. It's like lightning in a bottle.
They hit Monster Hunter, and that put their company back on track.
Yeah.
I think we're about to see the early stages of EA getting back on track. And I think Jedi Fallen Order might have been that catalyst that shows EA, look, we could still do this stuff to make us money. But we got to be a little bit more fluid to get people here. We got to be a little more fluid and more open to different ideals so other people will try out our games and not just have Madden 23, Madden 24. And I feel like they see that Madden name might not last forever because they just had to give up the FIFA name. So let's be real here. If EA lost the sports, do you think they would stay around long?
If that whole program is built around the sports aspect, it's very hard to pivot and to turn into something. Listen, third-person story-driven games are a dying breed, right? So you have to turn it into something that is able to produce cash. EA very early on got on the sports scene and realized that the recurring revenue from these sports games allows them to generate cash at astronomical rates while exploring different ideas in these games. If they lost that aspect, their company DNA is built in sports. EA Sports is in the game, and everything else is a derivative of that. if they lost that, I probably will cry that day, because I know that developer is put in a perilous downward spiral, and for them to catch lightning in a bottle to do a Fortnite type of game, because it will have to be a games of service and would not be a third person story driven game that would save them, that would be hard. That would be the scary part for them.
And I think that's my biggest thing with Iron Man. You know, if they let the developers develop instead of trying to reach their hand in the cookie jar and take out cookies before they're made, then I could see the game doing well, because I can see a lot of creative. Because I bet you if you went back, and I don't know how you guys feel about it, if you went back and you took 100% of the scale of games that flopped and did really bad, overhyped games, and you went back and you dissected that game development, you would see somewhere in that line the publisher put their hands in the cookie jar first. And, we like this microtransaction, what can we put that in there? Because I know they did it with Dead Space 3.
That's the other fear for EA too. Who's to say you probably gonna be paying for a lot of these suits that are from the MCU, or they'll have some system in play like that.
I guess to me, as long as the gameplay mechanics, the gameplay, the story, everything's fine. I'm not like you guys. I don't care about the suits. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't. As long as the story's good and the base suit is fine. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't like Spider-Man. You didn't really see the suit interact too much during the story. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't see rips and stuff.
They did.
No,
you talking about damage to the
like I'm talking about like Batman level, where by the end of that game, he looked completely different than the beginning of that game.
His suit was damaged. The advanced suit was damaged and ripped up and stuff like that.
Yeah, he had to change his suit.
He had to get the what was it called, the biosuit.
Yeah, man, the crazy as hell. Like the whole biggest aspect of the Spider-Man 2018 was the suits. Like I would literally do something over just because I got the suits. When I got the clone suit out of that,
I guess maybe. See, I didn't change the suits or anything like that, so I guess that's...
no,
I didn't.
Yo,
I
King,
didn't change the suits.
Oh, man, put the fraud away.
That stuff didn't matter to me. That stuff didn't matter to me.
Yo, King,
look, I got a new suit. I would... Hold up.
Oh, 1 second, King. You already know what happened when you get the biosuit. You start the game immediately all over and playing Edge in the biosuit. I'm just keeping it about that.
See, like, I would switch... When I got a new suit, I would switch to it, look at it for a second, and switch back. Like, that stuff doesn't mean anything to me. Like, I'm not...
Then why'd you bring it up then?
It got to be a cultural thing. It got to be a cultural thing.
Because you brought it up. You were talking about the suits, not me. You said EA was going to charge separately for them.
I did, but I didn't say nothing about damage in suits. You
I was saying as long as that is done, where the suit's damaged and you could see that he's been through some stuff, then I don't care if you can't buy another one. Like my thing is like I want to see that evolution, like I saw in Batman, where you throughout the game, but maybe it's because Batman in most of those games, Spider-Man's done throughout a couple days, and like Batman is pretty much done like one night in City, and then the original Batman was done in one scenario. So I can understand Spider-Man would have the opportunity to go switch suits. You know what I'm saying? Like Batman didn't really have that opportunity, and so
it's the rich history of the costumes that play a large part. But see, okay, it's the individuals. Addict. And I can give you an insight. Addict really doesn't care what we wear when we go to these shows. He doesn't. That's up to me, right? So it's up to me to
literally how it goes. I wake up in the morning and I put in the group chat, what color are we wearing today?
That's it. He doesn't care. So, and I understand it. So when he says it, it's really not far-fetched for it to happen for me to be at disbelief with it. I believe it. It was just like really in that game, and that game was really around unlocking each suit and what you had to do to get to said suits. And Miles Morales was the same way. What
I didn't change his suit one time.
There we go, man, bro.
God. Oh God!
I think he eventually gets a new suit in the
Jesus.
game itself, like the black one, like the remade one. Like I played that from the start to the end. Like because
Spider-Man 2, well, what we saw in the trailer, they all have the base suits that you've seen on the cover of each game. Those are the version 2, their versions of those suits.
Yeah.
Refined versions. So Doc Ock makes the advanced suit, okay, right? Which is like, it looks orange. It looks kind of like it's like orange tint to it. That's the prototype advanced suit. Peter's version goes back traditional colors when it has more similarities to what Peter would put on his suit in part 2.
Yeah.
And what's funny is I'm a huge fan of Miles Morales. I thought that was a fantastic game. I actually think that was better than the 2018 one. But yes, I did use gadgets. Okay, just now let's see. This is what I don't like. Just because I said I didn't switch suits, that people are like, "Did you use gadgets, Addict?" What's funny is I didn't use a lot of gadgets, but I did use gadgets.
You didn't use the web bomb.
It's because like the melee system and the swinging system was so OP, you didn't have to use half that stuff half the time. So it was just certain ads, certain enemies, certain ads and certain enemies you had to. But besides that, I didn't really have to mess with too much stuff. We got a
best combo in the game: web bomb and concussion.
Yeah, I use web bomb. I use that. Got $2 super chat from Don Otaku. We need a Superman Warrior game. I know
what he's talking about.
I have no clue what he's talking about.
All right, so that's and if let me know if I'm right or wrong, Don. That's when he was depowered by Warmonger, and he was on that planet where he didn't have his powers, and he had to fight to get off of that planet. They tried to take the concept of Gladiator Hulk, where Hulk had that stun disc that was on his chest that made him weaker, and he wasn't able to turn to World Breaker Hulk, and he was able to be in gladiator tournaments where his life was on the line. He was strong, but he wasn't as strong as Hulk strong. So maybe they can do a game where Superman is on a planet where he is depowered because of the sun. The sun is, let's say, instead of the yellow sun, is a red sun, and he doesn't have the ability to absorb the powers from the sun, and he's at a limited form, and he can go about it that way. That concept itself, where it strips him of his flight, it forces him to actually be combative, and as you learn different things, you can progress and get stronger and stronger until you can get off of that planet. I think that is a great concept for a game. Let me know if I'm right about that, Don.
That'd be cool. But King, here's another one though. Obviously this game is already a game for it, Injustice. I know you read the comic Injustice.
Boy.
Why not have that single player formed and you play as Superman and you actually see him go against the Lantern Corps and stuff like that?
That'd be good.
That would have been my take. I would have taken it to that type of level.
But so then you're talking about an intergalactic Superman, whereas this is how you nullify the thoughts of the flight itself, that he's able to fly from planet to planet. So you encompass that into it, and when he is on said planets, he's able to go from point A to point B. But you can also have him fight the indigenous population that is probably overpowered, that equals the thought process of does his power equate to fighting low-level characters. I mean, that works.
Not just that, though. Think about the set piece they can do with this. Like, you start off, you just see his descent going into the madness of him becoming a tyrant. That's something he never did. You know what I mean?
He killed his wife and baby.
Remember how he went into the ocean. My bad, Addict. But remember how he went to the ocean? He pulled Atlantis out from the ocean and put it in the desert. Come on, people will lose their stuff like that over it. I'm saying, like, stuff like that would be good for Superman. You can make Superman work. Plenty.
So we got a $2 super chat from he said, okay, let me read the super chat first. He said, say it with me, Addict. Mandingo McThickens. I appreciate the pronunciation class. I appreciate it. But I'm probably still going to butcher your name. I'm going to forget that in 10 minutes. But Mandingo McThickens, you have your name pronounced correctly for a whole 5 minutes. So congratulate yourself on that. I think that's the first person that has super chatted me the correct pronunciation for their name. You know what? My hat is off to you. I have a beanie on. I ain't taking it off because of
somebody should zoom in on the little fly that is driving Addict nuts. Because
it is.
I just saw him and I thought it was on my screen. I was like, no, that's at Addict's house. It's
just one. Just keeps flying around me. Like, It is what it is. I'm not trying to focus on it because then it's just gonna annoy me. We got $2 super chat from Dawn Otaku. No, I mean like Dynasty Warriors with Superman.
Oh, you're ridiculous.
Went on this giant like mythology thing. What you think he is? What's funny is they've done so much with Superman. They had a scenario that made sense to you on that super chat, and it wasn't even nothing related to that.
Because it's an actual book with what I said. So I thought he was talking about that.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to go ahead, move on to this next topic. I'm actually really interested about this. Let me do the timestamp thing because of the timestamp police. We're going to do 52 minutes for the timestamp police.
There's only that one guy that bothers you. I read your comments.
No, there's a couple people. They usually say it in chat. That like he's the only person that's real aggressive with it. But there's a lot of people that enjoy it. But I call them the timestamp mafia. That's what I call them. Like if I don't do the timestamps, they're gonna come over here and put me 2 feet under. Well, 6 feet. No, they're doing 2 feet because they.
Yeah. Hey, Cam Mose, I would agree with you if we didn't get the Batman.
Oh my God, no. Now people are super chatting the pronunciations of their names.
I would definitely agree with you, but yeah, a lot of their shows and everything have not been handled properly at all on the DC side.
Got a $2 super chat from Rubber Knob. That's Steve the Fly Addict. Well, Steve needs to go away. We got a
Steve the Fly.
We got a $5 super chat from. Let's read the super chat. Bless up, guys. Addict, your baby Farva. Your baby's
father.
Your baby's father. Okay, I get you, man. But like I said, man, see, I'm gonna have to like eventually get like a text document and just have all these pronunciations on it. And when you guys super chat, when you guys super chat, I just Control F on the document and just read it.
Dude, that'd be so dope. You can have her reading it, and she sound like Siri
from your baby father.
Actually, I might look into that. I know that's possible. You can do that. I know that's possible.
No.
But the problem is I don't know if there's a way to do it when I tell it to do it. Because I know you can do it when they super chat in general, but I don't know if there's a way to do it when I'm like, yo, read these names. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want it to read it during us talking, because that's going to be weird. All right, so we're going to be talking about
Ezra. Yeah, Ezra.
Certain Affinity. They are... Apparently, I think this is Jeff Grubb, because I saw it said feature beat. Might not be Jeff Grubb. I don't know if Jeff Grubb's still with them or not. No, it's published by Andy Robertson. So apparently, we've already known this, but I think it's more in the news now. Certain Affinity is working on a huge project for Halo, and he says the biggest thing we're doing that public right now for more than 2 years now, which I think we kind of knew it was being worked on for a while. And he says we're doing something unannounced that we're doing lead development on, and an unannounced thing from a concept design. It's something big and new for the franchise, but I can't say any more about it at this moment. That's our single largest project of our 3 projects. Currently, we have to close 100 developers working on that. So there's 100 developers working on this game, and I'm pretty sure it's the BR mode. I hope it's the BR mode, because at this point, I feel like they can do a really good job at captivating. It's just, first off, what I want to ask you guys is, do you think it's the BR mode? And second off, I want to ask you is, considering all of us, I know King, me and King play a decent amount of battle royales. I want to ask you, especially King, you can time in on a little bit. BitCloud is, how would you want them to do a battle royale, and how do you want Certain Affinity to do it? We'll start with King. Let me get these super chats real quick.
Yeah, go.
$2 super chat from THX1138. I think that's Wolverine. I don't know. We're not talking about that. Deadpool times Wolverine MCU Phase 6 2024. Okay, King, you got 3 minutes to go on your rant about Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
I hate Hugh Jackman. I wish he would have stayed dead. But they gave a scenario where the movie Logan was made in 2029, and this movie takes place way before he even gets to that advanced stage and that advanced stuff, and that's a whole different timeline. I wish they don't bring him back. I wish they had new blood for Wolverine.
Yeah,
but I believe the actor that plays Ryan Reynolds, who plays Deadpool, I think he has a lot of pull.
Yep.
When it came to that, and I think he told them, and this is the reason why Deadpool's taking so long. I'm not going to do Deadpool with a different Wolverine unless it's Hugh. Because I'm not going to sacrifice my movie to live or die on if they even like this
he's got
Wolverine.
a point there. He does
Why
have
do
a
you
point
think?
there.
Why do you think his movie's rated R, but Blade King is PG-13?
Well, the cursing.
Yeah.
It's more of the cursing.
I think Ryan Reynolds is probably one of the actors in the industry right now. Well, like not gaming, but the movie industry that got the most clout out of everybody. This man just walk up and what's funny is, in terms of gaming, I respect that man. When he did that movie about the he's an NPC in the
in the video game world.
You're talking about what was the Free Guy?
Free Guy. That was amazing.
I love that movie,
especially at the end where he starts turning, because for those of you who don't know, he's an NPC. He learns that he's in a video game, and then he starts playing like a player, like we would.
He becomes
be
sentient.
Yeah, and then he gets all these items from doing this, and then the game's starting to get deleted, and he's starting to use items from games. Like when he's fighting, he used Captain America's shield. He used the portal gun. Did you see? He ended up using the Fortnite, My Little Pony axe. It's hilarious, and I honestly feel like only Ryan Reynolds could have did that movie. I don't know why, but it's like a certain humor that only he can do.
Yeah, he is very self-aware, and he understands breaking the fourth wall. And engaging the audience is what made Deadpool popular. It's what's making She-Hulk popular for some people, not others. Misogynistic pigs. And
oh god,
you're gonna come after me with that. I don't care. And I know he made Free Guy because Free Guy actually broke the fourth wall a lot as well. So,
all right, so
Cobra Kai King. I hope you saw season.
Let me go ahead and $5 super chat from Rubber Knob. Do I really need to explain how my name is announced? Is it not Rubber Knob?
No, it's the Rubber Knob.
A rubber knob.
I'm just going off of what Sovereign says. So
a rubber knob.
Yeah.
What I'm gonna do is from every time that Solve reads a super chat now, I'm gonna just have his voice, and I'm gonna just push a button on my Steam Deck, and it's just gonna play it. And I'm not. You know what? It just might. All right, then we got $2 super chat from Flame. This says, "This gives me hope. Halo has a dev team again. Yay!" All right, let's get into it. So, King, how do you feel about certain Affinity? Do you think it's a battle royale? Which I think we all agree on that. Yeah. And if it is a battle royale, how would you want one developed?
Okay. Me personally, if I'm making a game, I'm gonna make it like ODST. All right. And I'm not going to be worrying about Spartans. I'm going to be worrying about ODST Marines, and they come down in their little drop pods as you're landing on the field, and it plays in the same manner of PUBG, with the Fortnite mixture of as far as the aesthetics. You have a season pass, you have tons of content. That is the biggest problem with a lot of battle royales. If you don't have the content, the reoccurring content to have people play, then the game is going to fall flat. You got to balance the mechanics of the guns and the looting aspect and the shrinking of the map. It's out there for you. You can just follow the blueprint. I honestly would say go to a slower battle royale as like Fortnite. But if you're going to a faster battle royale, which is more twitchy, like Call of Duty type of Fortnite type of battle royale, like Warzone and that stuff, then really hit that Warzone aspect. But I think the more realism towards it, for me, it's better. But I think Halo's going to fall in between. Is going to probably go towards the instead of the hero with Apex, is going to go towards the Call of Duty type of feel of it. And I think they're going to lean into that aspect. But I really want it to be like ODST Marines, a little bit above regular Marines and a little bit below Spartans.
What do you think, Big Cloud? I'm curious what your opinion on this. I don't think I've ever talked to you about this. Do you think it is going to be a battle royale mode, and how would you want it developed?
I mean, I'm not expecting them to break the fourth wall like like Fortnite, all the crazy stuff. I ain't expecting that, but how I would do it, I mean, King brought up a good point. I would have it just be more so of a hybrid of Warzone and Fortnite, elements of both, and just probably put it in that ODST style as well with the Marines. I probably would do the same.
You know what I think would be cool? I don't know how you guys would feel about this. You drop, and I don't know if it would be fair, but you can drop in as an elite or a human.
And you have faster speed when you're an elite?
Yeah, I think that, like...
What about the grunt?
Well, see, here's the thing. Okay. Let's say... Okay, clearly I'm hijacking the conversation. Hey, guys.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they should do both. Now hear me out. All right, this is going to sound crazy, and I know it's probably not going to work, but this is my world, so I'm going to say it the way I want it. All right, so you could choose between a Spartan, ODSD, or an elite. Or even if they don't do a Spartan to make it more fair, do a brute. Brute, elite, or an ODSD. They all have different unique things that make them unique and that make them different aspects in the battlefield. So if you're fighting a brute, he might have a little bit more health than a human. If you're fighting an elite, he might have less health, but he's faster. If you're fighting an ODSD, maybe he's just an overall better. Like he's just average. Like he's got more health than an elite, and he's got more speed than a brute. So I think that would be cool. And it's like, and to make it a little bit fair for the ODSD, because I think it'll be fair regardless, but make it to where there's stations on the map to where an ODSD can turn into a Spartan. And like it's like kind of like one of those things where it drops, but don't make the Spartan like broken or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like, imagine where it's like, instead of them dropping a Dragon Ball Z capsule, King, they say on the map, a factory is opened or something, and then you're fighting to get in the factory, and then it'd be like one of those things to where it's four squads, only one person could turn into a Spartan, so the other three have to protect the one person while he's being augmented on, and then
that's crazy.
So I feel like that would be a lot of different aspects. Now clearly saying basically no aspects, no balancing. Look, I'm not saying it's going to be easy to balance, but I'm saying in order to get in the BR right now, you have to do stuff unique, stuff no one else is doing. You had Apex that made it a hero battle royale. No one was doing that. That's the reason they succeeded. You had Warzone that already took the... Did my live go off?
What? No,
people were saying live. I don't know. Okay, maybe. Okay. Oh, yo, live. Okay, he's talking to the chat. My dumb. I'm dumb. Okay, so... All right, so, and then you had Warzone that took the pre-existing fan base they had to jumpstart a battle royale. Then you have Fortnite doing Fortnite. I don't even have they were the first one, so I guess you can actually give them that leeway. In order to survive these days, you got to do something different. I guess I just feel like putting variables in the map. Now, it's like I said, don't make the Spartan broken, but he's going to have to be a little bit of a beast, because if you let three people, and I'm not saying it's not one of those things, King, where no one knows. Like, if someone is getting augmented, I want every percentage being shown. Imagine you fighting your way up because you know someone's about to be turned into a Spartan in there, and you're hearing on the intercom, process is done in 30 seconds, and you're like, oh my God, I got to get up there like right now. Like I just think that would be. Imagine the crazy maps that you can have. You can make a reach map. You can make a what's that? High charity map. There's so much things you can do, and it's just like, I know that sounds crazy. That this doesn't make sense. Look, I get that. I'm telling you, what Fun Speculation said, you could do stuff with dark maps where they're nighttime and stuff. All I'm saying is, when you go into something like this, you got to be unique. I would rather them make Hail Marys. Yeah, when you die, you become a flood. Stuff like that. Like, there's a lot of different options that you can do. Imagine like certain of the maps, like why instead of a circle with a flood is infecting. Like if you come out, like you're starting to get attacked by flood.
Starting to get attacked by the flood. I mean, that's cool. I think you guys are overthinking it.
I am.
I want them to nail the essence of Halo, right? As we play the battle arena, we realize that they got that essence of Halo down pat really well. All right. The season thing, that's something different. I want them to nail the essence of Halo the same way Warzone nailed the essence of Call of Duty. Right? I want them to stay true to their identity there. Don't try to be Fortnite and put Kamehamehas.
I was saying, yeah.
Right now, excuse me. Build to these places. But put your feet down, stamp your feet in the ground. If you're going to have brutes, if you're going to go through 3 different fractions, didn't Ensemble do the Halo Wars, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought they crafted their identity but stayed true to Halo, and that's what made it really, really good. The story talk about it was fantastic. The storylines was great, and it worked. I want them to focus on what some of us feel. I always thought ODST was probably one of the best Halo games because it puts you in a different position of a character that wasn't OP, he wasn't a Spartan, but he had to still battle and he still had to make it through this war. So if we can,
if anything,
worry
it
about
shows ODST or more OP. They're not OP, but like they're more badass than a Spartan because like, they go into these scenarios knowing they don't have a ton of armor protecting them, and an energy sword will kill them.
Yes. So why don't we worry about the grunts of each fraction? Right, so we can have with the elites, we can have their lower levels instead of the actual ones with the armor and they're super energetic and stuff like that. And with the brutes, and like you said, they have different types. Maybe you have a little bit more armor if you're a brute, but you're a little bit slower. But you can still forage and get weapons, and the map does shrink. Maybe the flood is something good. Maybe it's a beam from Katana that's actually shrinking the map. Whatever it is, they can work that into the storyline of it. But I want it to feel like, like Halo, but I want it to feel warlike, so it has to deal with the grunts. Spartans and these elites, they are small aspects of a larger battle that's going on, and they tip the scales of the battle while it's happening. But to be all honest with you, Master Chief goes and liberates a bunch of captured Marines when he's playing Halo Infinite, and those Marines actually turn the tide because he can't be on the map at the same time all over the place. So that's what I'm looking for.
So you think they should make like an evolved Warzone from Halo 5? I can't remember what it's called. Chat, correct me. I don't think it's called Warzone. It's called something else. I can't remember what it's called.
You doing that big battle thing that we was doing before? Yeah.
Like a more arranged version of that. Instead of doing a battle royale, they made it like a 50-on-50 thing.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the only way to make a Halo version that makes sense on battle royale doesn't make sense in the long scheme of things because ODST wouldn't be fighting each other. You know what I'm saying? So like that's why I feel like doing it that way would strip
large scale battles.
Yeah, large scale battles would work out well. But if they want to do the battle royale, that's why I said like you have to do something unique. Yeah. And you have to have it's more about setting up scenarios that your competition cannot set up.
Yeah.
And if you just put a thing where guns are loaded on a map and you're loaded on a map, for instance, they do a battle royale, they don't need to come down on like a plane or the battle bus. All it is it shows you the map at the beginning. Yeah, it's called Warzone, I guess. It shows you the map at the beginning on Battle Royale for Halo. and it's just like a little crosshair that you go down, up, left, right with. You find out where you want to drop, you press A, and it shoots an ODST drop pad right there.
Yeah.
Like there's no like parachuting, like obviously, because I feel like in order for this to work, like first off, if you're a Spartan, you don't need a parachute. You can literally jump it. Second off, I feel like it would be very beneficial to have fast gameplay like that. Because if you think about it, imagine if you're just sitting there and you're walking up and someone respawns, like obviously they have a respawn system, and you just see an ODST pod fall right in front of you. Like you know what's up. You know what's about to happen. And that's why I've said, like, I'm big on, if you're gonna make something, you gotta do it unique. You gotta make it to where memories happen on your game that cannot be duplicated in other competition. Because I think people get this weird concept that if they make a product that's on par with Fortnite, they can beat Fortnite. No. Fortnite is the way Fortnite is for multiple things, and it has nothing to do with the combat. Sure, it's fun to shoot. It's got good shooting mechanics. But what makes Fortnite is how mainstream it's become, where you can go in there as just about anyone you can think of in this whole world. Anything in multi-stream gaming, obviously it wouldn't work if the combat wasn't there. It does have good combat, and they're good at what's the word I'm looking for. They will change it at a hair. If they need something changed, they can change it almost instantly. Obviously, it takes a couple weeks, but a lot of these other people, it seems like it takes them a lot longer. But I think that's the biggest thing, King. It's just like I don't want certain Affinity to spend all this money, waste all these resources, and they didn't think more out the box, and they just try to make a clone war zone. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like it's got to be unique and it's got to work, because I don't think Halo Infinite can handle much more stuff popping off. So
my person ain't there, so whatever happens, happens.
So certain Infinity, do what you can, man, but do it right. That's all I ask. All right, let's go to the main event, man. Let's go to the main event. Let me handle the timestamp mafia real quick. We at an hour, and I'm gonna say 14 minutes, because I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of a thing. All right. Actually, you know what? I'm not saying. I'm gonna say 13:50. There you go. 45. Give you a little bit more, man. 45 minutes. All right. So I always butcher his name. What's the CEO of Microsoft right now?
Satya Nadella.
Satya Nadella, probably butchered it right there. Young Odin has come outside,
Called him Young
and he's
Odin.
been very open with supporting the Xbox brand, to the point where he is low-key calling out PlayStation, if you want to compete with us, let us compete and stop crying on Twitter. That's literally, like, for those of you who don't think that that's exactly where that was going for. He might have been talking to a news outlet, but he was really talking to Jim Ryan.
He was talking to the camera. The message was clear.
Yeah, so Big Cloud, what's your thought on this? What do you think is going to be the result in this? Do you think it's going to breathe fire into PlayStation, where they'll stop snitching? Do the point things, King. Do the point things. Do the point things. Will they'll stop snitching? And, maybe they'll say, okay, this is just what Microsoft's able to do, or do you think they might double down and snitch some more?
I mean, well, first of all, the whole thing is just dumb, and it's the fact that it's gotten to this point is even more funny to me personally, because I thought it would be done in record time, I guess you can say, but no, it continued to happen. Now, I get it. I get where Jim's coming from. Yeah, Call of Duty, it counts for a big number. Like, it counts for a big portion of Sony's engagement numbers when it comes to multiplayer. Sure, but you have 10 games as a service in production right now. You already got the word that you're going to continue to get the games. What, in the next 3 years or 3 years after the deal's done, and those that you have contractually, with them. So you're gonna get those. But the fact that he's talking about it like, it's so viable to us, all this stuff. He's making all this, like, at this point in time, especially after, I don't know if y'all played Modern Warfare 2. Did y'all play Modern Warfare 2, the beta?
No, I don't play stuff that. Nah.
Okay, you didn't.
If I played Modern Warfare 2, I feel like I'm getting sick. Like I need to stop.
Yeah. So
I feel like I'm getting blind.
I played Modern Warfare 2 on PC and PlayStation. I can tell you right now, And a lot of people are divided, especially after the way that game is not only performing, but just how they went about that game for the multiplayer. Most of the stuff that people complained about throughout the decades of this game being out here on the market, they have brought back and have either doubled down or simply didn't listen to years of feedback that people have given towards this franchise. So what I'm saying is, at this point in time, I don't think Sony really needs to be worried about Call of Duty at this point. Now, unless what I hope happens, right? I talked to King about this, where we talked about unionization, getting rid of everything that is wrong. You know what I mean? People in charge, getting new leadership, changing perspective. You know what I mean? Different ideas around. Unless that stuff happens with this franchise and with this, this publisher as a whole, when this deal is done, I don't know what to really say. You know what I mean? Call of Duty is what it is for me. But I don't see the fuss anymore. But just because I see it doesn't mean that there are people who are gonna play this game. And Sony at this point in time, I just feel like, listen, it ain't that deep. You got God of War that's about to drop in November. You got Spider-Man 2 for next year. You got Wolverine coming out. You got other games to look out for. You have pretty much your your deal, not even your deal. I was going to say deal with Fortnite, but they got their thing going on with Epic, and you have all this other stuff. So, I mean, it's dumb to me, personally. I don't care as much about it. As far as what Satya Nadella said, for years I've asked for Microsoft to compete. So the fact that they are competing now and putting pressure on Sony, what it really tells me is that Sony doesn't want to go through what they've been through with the PS3 gen again, where they had to legit fight tooth and nail for everything when it came to Microsoft. And I get it. But you're in the best shape you've been in a long time. You don't have a system that's overpriced, significantly overpriced, and hard to develop for. No, you have everything working in your favor. You have a loyal fan base that's willing to pay $70 for games. You have a loyal fan base willing to pay and eat the price hike. You know what I mean? And buy these consoles. So it's not like you are any particular situation where you're falling back. The problem is you don't want to really compete. For the past couple of years, Sony's been in cruise control since the PS4 gen. Ooh. That's how it's been. They've been in cruise control. Think about it. What threat have they actually had to worry about since the PS4 gen?
Not really much of anything.
None. They've been in cruise control.
They just sit back and collect their reward, pretty much.
Exactly. So that's how it's been. They don't want that type of flow, that steady flow to happen. And that's how it is.
How do you feel, King? I know we went over this a little bit on ILP. I'm curious. Let's change this up just a little bit. Do you think that what Jim Ryan has been saying on not Twitter but media outlets and stuff, do you think that has sparked even more of a fire behind Microsoft and Phil Spencer and stuff? Like, what's your thoughts?
Well, Phil is always going to take the politically correct thought when it comes to stuff, and he's always cognizant of the fact that, like he said, he's all about inclusion, right? And I think he's been benevolent across the boards with as far as sharing and stuff. Satya is probably tired of the backbiting, the bickering, the public displays of outcry from the people that's in the number one position, supposedly. If you have all these things going for you, if you have everything supposedly right, you have a fan base that's delusional enough to fall for $70 games, one and done games. If you have a fan base that's delusional to fall for $18 service that is really $8, I broke it down to people. If you have a fan base that is willing to pay the price hike in a console that's already existing on the market, there was one price yesterday, that's a new price today. If you have done all this customer abuse and these people are still standing by you and they're still with you, why are you worrying about somebody that's fourth and fifth? The reasons is because you can see the writing on the wall. You know, this generation didn't start off how they wanted it to start off, to be honest with you. I don't believe that Microsoft started off this generation exactly how they wanted to, but I believe that they're in a better position as far as planning goes to where they're going to reach their final form a lot sooner than what the PlayStation would. And now, removing stuff off the boards, removing revenue off the boards actually hits Sony in the pocket. Jim understands that part. Jim is a money guy. Once the market starts to hit and hurt Sony's pockets, they're going to look over at Jim. I think it was a statistic out there that Sony is 50% down in revenue sharing this year, as far as a company as a whole goes. Not just saying that, it's a PlayStation, but that plays a large key into some of the stuff that is limiting them from expanding in certain spaces, be it chipsets, be it the console distribution. It's a lot of things. But Satya is saying that he wants competition. Let us have competition. If it's solely about this aspect, then let's keep it about this aspect and stop goalposts moving. That's what he's trying to say. Stop trying to use your tactics, your business tactics in one area to try to influence another area. If it's about competition, then we know what we need to do to compete with you on the levels that you think that we can't compete. It's going to be a point in time where after the Activision, Blizzard and King deal goes through and Microsoft starts attacking the portable market, and then the Blizzard games start coming in. Not worrying about the Call of Duty games. Those games start to roll in and start to come in. Satya, young Odin, is going to compete in the way that he knows how. He's going to open that checkbook, and he's going to start looking at companies that fit the Microsoft portfolio. He's going to start looking at companies that can actually put out quality games in the Microsoft Game Pass ecosystem. And those games are going to be the future of how the gaming landscape is going to be divided. Sony realizes they don't have the bucks to compete in that aspect, so they have to cry out and have to, show different things. It is nice. Satya has a plan. I believe Microsoft as a whole has a plan. And Game Pass was the vehicle to get that stuff into your house. Once it's on every television, once it's in every mobile device, that's the whole takeover aspect of it. So you just want to have your games in the service revolving as much as possible with as many developers that they can actually house. So if it's about competition and y'all wanted competition, all I've ever heard from Sony dudes for forever is, Microsoft needs to compete in this space. Well, now they're competing in this space. Stop crying and snitching. Stop pointing fingers. Stop yelling, oh, no, we need... No.
What kills me about that, they're saying okay, so I get okay. So they're Microsoft's taking games from this side and not letting on this side, but it's we're ignoring Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's more than Final Fantasy. We're ignoring all the business tactics that they've been doing for years. Final Fantasy is just the highlight of a small aspect of the tactics that they've been writing into contracts and stuff like that. So what Microsoft...
Deathloop just dropped on Xbox, remember correctly, right? Yeah, why did it drop immediately?
Because, it couldn't drop immediately because that game was paid for.
The clause. It was that clause in the contract after the time limit.
They pay for exclusivity. This is what they do. So when you own these companies, they can't go in there and pay for exclusivity. They have to eat that bag. They have to find out other ways to compete. And does Sony have all that money to be making one and done games? No, this is the reason why Jim is pivoting to games as a service. This is the reason why that aspect is going to change in the PlayStation Nation. They're going to be games of a service. They're going to have these revolving games that's going to be there with season passes and stuff like that. And it's going to look like a multiplayer haven, what Microsoft built their whole company on, right? So as far as Xbox goes, That's going to happen. They were on the right track. Sony was good for last generation. High-speed internet, digital transfers, digital purchasing, digital aspect, the way we live, and the limited attention span of the gamers that we have at the moment geared towards these battle royales, these games as a service, these quick twitch games that actually keeps generating levels of money. Those nuances before that was niche is now mainstay. These are the big bucks carriers. These are the big games. So I think you're going to see larger aspects of that transpiring, and they're going to compete in those arenas. I just feel that Microsoft has the war chest that allows them to participate in this in a different manner than Sony, and Sony realizes that. So if it's about competition, well, you got it now, bruh. And they're in trouble after this deal.
Yeah, I think Sega's next. Real talk. I would not be surprised.
Yeah, that was my choice.
Because most of the stuff they bought, King, is to fix a problem. You know what I mean? It's the main problem. So they bought Bethesda. We said they needed more IPs, more stuff to go for. They got that. What's the other thing that people have been asking for Xbox? JRPGs.
Yep.
So makes sense there. You buy Call of Duty. Now, this is where, again, because I'm funny, y'all was talking about Halo earlier. How do you feel? Because I never got your take on it, but how do you feel about Halo taking basically a back seat if once Call of Duty gets thrown into Game Pass? Because I think that's going to be the way it's going to be. You know what I mean? Like COD's going to be the poster boy of the console going forward, and Halo will be more of a second player on the side. You know what I mean? Because I don't think Halo's going to get that. Obviously, I don't think we're ever going to see a game that's going to be like heavily like a service from Halo ever again. So they're going to have to go back to the traditional formula. You know what I mean? But
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I think they have enough studios to actually rotate and regurgitate different type of stuff. I think Halo will always be the staple of the box.
You think?
And Infinite, the way that they're structuring 343 and building that stable, I believe once they get the cadence down, once they get all the stuff that they have to put out, like Forge, the co-op, all that other stuff that is slated to come out, once that stuff does come out and they can focus their attention on Halo Infinite, the game itself, I believe that game itself will be exactly what it's supposed to be. I think they're going to scale back Call of Duty. That's not going to be every year release. I think it's going to be an every 2-year release type of game. I'll give it some time to cook a little bit. And I believe Warzone will be that constant for them that can continue to generate revenue. The biggest thing is not really Activision's Call of Duty. The biggest thing is really King. King is really the whole vehicle that Microsoft is going after. They're going after that aspect. And Blizzard, of course,
too, because of WoW.
Yeah. Well, Blizzard, of course, for the RPGs, because I think Microsoft wants to stamp themselves as the RPG king, and it would lead sense for people for Microsoft to purchase Square to shore that up. But I will honestly say I believe Atlas with Sega is a bigger catch.
See, let me interrupt you real quick. I want them to buy Sega. I want them because I think that's a more logical move.
Yeah,
it would give them a lot in the JR. Let me get these 2 super chats real quick before I forget them. I appreciate the $1 super chat from Mr. Orange. I like that name, Mr. Orange. And then we got a $2 super chat from T Forest. Definitely should have said something for us, but I appreciate the support.
You said King is right.
Yeah, King's right. There you go. So
thanks, Mr. Forest.
Here's what I think. Not like the relaxed person in me is like, I want them to buy Sega. You know, the industry, the person that you see on ILP. Well, sometimes, because sometimes I'm messy on there. For the most part,
sometimes
I want them to buy Sega. You know, because I think that makes the most sense. They have studios I like. I feel like they would get a good grappling when it comes to Japanese JRPG. But the messy addict in me wants them to buy Square Enix because I just want to see Twitter for one day. One day, like, can I just see what would I can't can't. Sometimes you know how people say I can't fathom, I can't imagine what would happen if a certain scenario happens. I literally could not imagine what would happen if they bought Square Enix.
I do.
Huh? You already know.
You know what would happen.
You know what happened.
Complete meltdowns.
There's the typical. I'm done with gaming.
I like that.
I'm going to PC.
You can do it. Go.
PC. I'm going to PC.
You can go to PC and play with Xbox controller.
Another thing I want them to do is I want them to migrate Game Pass into Battle.net. Like, I want them to migrate that whole thing into Battle.net because I feel like that makes the most sense PC wise. Yeah, I think that, look, we have waited a while, and I think it's fair for people. I never jump on people who say they're done waiting. I get annoyed when I know people are capping and they've never waited because they've never cared about the brand from the start. They only say stuff because they want to assume, they want the illusion they care about where the brand goes, but they don't really care where the brand goes. If anything, it benefits them more for the brand to stay where it's at because they can still generate more income off clowning them on YouTube, Twitter. That's where my issue is. It's like, look, if you are generally an Xbox user and you've been waiting for a certain game for years and you're frustrated, you have every right to be. But I do feel like there's going to be a gray time where we're still got a little bit longer to go. I do think that some of these games like Outer Worlds 2, they're coming sooner than you think.
Yep.
But I do think that, you probably got to wait another 6 months to a year before you start seeing these titles, gameplay, because there's going to get to a point, and you can mark this. It's 9/28/2022. There's going to be a point where you're going to tell them to start announcing new IPs because they show you too much gameplay. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a point where every event they have is going to be gameplay trailer after gameplay trailer after gameplay trailer, because at that point they have the content to show you. Yep. I think they're not done buying. I think the only reason PlayStation has secretly been sitting behind the computer like, oh God, this deal is about to end. That big bank account's about to open it up again. Oh God. Because if anything, I think a lot of people were relieved when Microsoft that they did the opening stuff to buy Activision, because I honestly feel like if they didn't buy Activision, they would have probably bought WB at that point when they started selling individual studios. There's a chance they would have bought Square Enix's Western studios.
Yeah, all the Crystal Dynamics and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, it's just Microsoft's been fighting with one hand behind their back. And keep in mind, even if they got good stuff to show, it doesn't strategically make sense for them to show it right now. Because right now, you're trying to appeal to people that are going to cost you billions if you mess up. If you come out there and you announce all this new stuff, all this new gameplay, it's going to be hard to sit there because Microsoft is really in a better position trying to act in a weaker position. Yo, we number 4. They number 1. Why are they coming at us? If you start going up showing all this stuff, it's going to look like you're in a stronger position than you actually are. Look, do they sit there and see Microsoft as this weak company in the corner? No. But Microsoft wants to show, like, look, we're in this industry and we're doing what we can, but you got to let us buy this company because it's one of the key factors we need to compete. And that's why you're seeing that they're not really making moves on a lot of third-party stuff, because they don't want to give anyone any more ammunition to attack them when it comes to this deal.
Yep.
So, we'll go ahead and talk about it real quick because people were talking about it in the chat. And, I have to actually, let me put this in the thing because I didn't. Well, where we are right now for your timestamp mafia, we're 1 hour. We'll say 36 minutes. 36 minutes. Let's talk about Grounded for a couple minutes. The game officially released, and I want to hear you guys' opinion on how well received this game's getting right now. It's kind of insane. Like,
Is that the Honey I Shrunk the Kids game?
Yeah, Honey I Shrunk the Kids game, and it's getting a lot of good praise. So, to make a quick thoughts, because, obviously we want to get us up. It's not 1 hour and 26 minutes. I got the official timestamps on my end, Dan. Okay, the official timestamps. So I just want you guys' opinion real quick. You know, what was your guys' opinion when you saw how well Grounded is being received? We'll start with King.
Well, initially, from the beta and stuff like that, or the open preview or whatever, it played well. They fixed all the stuff that they were doing while I was playing it. So from one passion project to an ultimate AA+ title, to actually get fruition, to actually ship, and to actually get praise after said shipping. That means that what they should have did with Sea of Thieves, they didn't do. They released Sea of Thieves, and it was in a broken state, and it built to the state that it is now. They did correctly with this game, with Grounded, and that teaches you that Microsoft learns, right? So we can do this in beta for however long it takes to cook and get the game done, and we can tinker and do everything that we're supposed to do. And when we're completely satisfied with this game, then we can release it, and it releases to a round of applause. I think that was a great strategy, but I think that Sea of Thieves was the sacrificial lamb to learn the process, and this game actually got the fruits of that labor. So it's great to see. Maybe one day we can play this game in a community stream, against people. It's a very streamable. Your mic is muted.
Yeah, I think that might be our next game.
Type of game. Yeah. So yeah. Nothing but praise to the team at Obsidian, and to actually get this game out, to actually stick with it, and to actually show how fun it can be, and the reviews stick to it. That's great.
What about you, BitCloud? I'll give my own opinion, but I'm curious what's your opinion, man. What's your thought process on Grounded? I wouldn't even say this game has never been successful. I think it's been successful the entire time it's been out. But after they released the actual last patch that, I think put a lot of the campaign functions in it, a lot of people are really loving it.
I mean, it was never on my radar. I never really looked at it in the direction of it. But the fact that they're doing so well, I mean, hey, good for the team, good for the game. Glad everybody's enjoying it. That's best I can really say about it. I mean, I got nothing really crazy to say towards the team.
Yeah, so, I think when it comes to me is I just like the success rates, man. If there's anything I like more than anything in this industry, it's when something does well. Because I feel like a lot of games deserve good happy endings. I felt like, if anything, this shows Obsidian don't miss. You got the Outer Worlds hit out of the park. You got just about everything hit out of the park. It's just crazy. Anything don't miss. But let's go ahead and do these outros, man. King, where can the people find you at? Where can they find you?
You can find me at ILP Sundays at 1 p.m. This weekend, I believe that we have the Jake Paul versus what's this guy named?
Silva.
Yeah, Anderson Silva fight.
I thought that was next month.
Is it next month? I thought it was. Oh no, that's October 29th. Okay, good. Whew, thank God. Thank God, because I thought I had a fight this weekend.
He knocked out Ortiz. You seen that, right? Recently.
Who?
Silva. He knocked out Ortiz. Yeah, boxing.
All this stuff is exhibition stuff. It's entertainment. This is fun stuff. But Saturdays at 10 p.m. if it's a major fight on, if it's in the zeitgeist, that King the professional fan will be on Combat Talk talking about it. Addict and I we're putting the finishing touches on a show that him and I is going to do. We have to wait a little bit. First and foremost, everybody that's in Florida or everybody that's in that region of the world that's going to go through this hurricane, my heart goes out to you. Us guys in the north,
it's crazy.
Really don't deal with that. So just be safe. Do everything that you got to do. Follow all the guidelines. Make sure that you have enough food and water to sustain yourself. If you do lose power, we know a lot of guys out there, like my boy Mojo, my boy Sick. We have Graphic God. We have a lot of people out there, DJs. just my guy Ty, just please be safe. Please follow all the rules, and don't go out there trying to film the hurricane.
Don't go for clout, man. Your life is not worth clout.
It's definitely not worth it. Just try to be as safe as possible. Let's all get past this stuff because it affects everyone, but especially those people there. Please, please, be safe.
Yeah, and it's like King said, be careful out there, man. Don't do anything that puts your life in jeopardy. I saw a lot of videos that I'm just like, why? Like, look, like there's a good chance that nothing's gonna happen to you. I saw like going over like one of the rivers over there. It's just like, dude on a porch, just watching it go by him, and I'm like, look, chances are you're not going to get hurt because it's a good amount of weight and it's going the other way. But why even risk it? Why risk it pulling up something on the other end of that lake and just throw it right in your face? Like, It's just like, go in, be safe, don't do dumb stuff for clout. Clout is not worth it, man. Clout is not worth your life. Big Cloud, where can people find you at, man?
YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Big Cloud. That's where you can find me. Big Cloud Gaming.
Big Cloud
Appreciate you having me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you
can also find me Iron Lords, lordsofgaming.net, Iron Lords.
Oh yeah, that's right. What shows you have these days going on? You still do the thing with
RGT
Blaze in there?
Yeah, that's going to be for the time being. That's going to be Saturdays at around. I think you said Saturdays at 9. So we're doing that, and RGT podcast obviously Friday at 5 p.m. and probably 6 for that as well.
That's what's up. And obviously. Myself, catch us on the Iron Lords podcast every Sunday at 1 p.m. We do this every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Most of the time, Dirt's here, but Dirt has some family stuff to go to. I'm going to try to get Hustle on here again eventually to guest because I know he's been busy with a new job and everything. Appreciate everyone coming here. We had like 350 people at one time. Definitely hit that like button. Let's get that above 100 and we'll say 70, man. 170 likes. I would appreciate it. Get those likes up. You guys show up every week, man. Every week you show up to IOP, you show up to the Addict Show. That's where we're going to do more stuff. I'm going to talk to the boy. I'm going to try to get us a grounded stream going on in the next couple of weeks. I don't know when. We'll try to do it. Maybe not all of us going to be involved, but I'm going to try to do it. I'm going to be I have a premiere stream going on here in a couple minutes. Well, actually here in about 30 seconds. I'm going to send you guys over there, man. I'm going to send you guys over there. It will be my my review on Valkyrie Elysium, or I don't know what that thing's called. It has like a weird name. I can't pronounce American names half the time, much less Elysium. No, someone in the chat, you know
Elysium?
I think it might be Elysium.
I gotta check. I gotta see your thing.
Yeah, someone in the chat, man. You know what to do. And I appreciate everyone for coming through. We'll be here back Sunday at 1 p.m. I don't think we have a guest. I don't know. I'll have to look. Even if
we can just have fun.
Even if we had a guest, I'm not allowed to tell. Elysium. There we go. Elysium. But like I said, I appreciate everything you guys do, and we'll be back next week. And I'm gonna send you guys over to my review. Now look. Whatever that happens with this review, it happens. Whatever stays on the internet, whatever happens on the internet stays on the internet. So this is Lord Addict, King David, and Big Cloud, and we're out.